Welcome to Horrendous Anime Vlog number 5. Peekaboo Internetville, how are we doing out there in the net? This is episode 5 of the Horrendous Anime Vlog, and this one is going to be super scary. Have you ever been making a video game and then had to just burn it down in order for it to move forward? Like, just scorched earth an entire video game in order to make it work? I did, and that's the story that I'm about to tell for part 1 of this vlog, which is the refactoring of May 15th. Ironically, this all started when I... Yes, I'm going to do the voice. Ironically, this all started when I began creating the data structure for enemies. It looks like the first enemy of this game was a boss. No, but really, like, I was trying to code the enemy, and when I was, like, loading sub-objects of other objects, the sub-objects were not able to wait for the, the higher up objects to finish loading before it tried to load, so I was getting a bunch of just empty objects, and it got worse. The entire data pipeline had to be recoded. No, but seriously, there was no way for functions to wait for other functions to finish. So it was, the game could not progress because now I'm having, objects that have, other objects as properties of itself. So this was the whole thing. I had to learn how to do asynchronous functions for this. So pretty spooky out there. So excuse me. I began to trace the wires starting at the end and wound up at the beginning. Line 1. Everything about the way the game loaded data made it impossible to progress. See previous statement about sub-objects of other objects. Getting the game back to its original state from a blank screen really felt like being lost in the woods. And following that comparison, having a flowchart. Yes, I'm the other guy here. Having a flowchart of the design can act like a map out of the woods, and luckily I had one of them. This thing. You've seen a flowchart before. It is so outstandingly spooky to have to, take your game back to a blank screen. Like, square one, and then just find your way through it again. And you don't know if it's going to work at the end. Like, sometimes there would be these moments where, a test would not go as planned, and then, I'd just be overwhelmed with doubts, is this game doomed just because it runs on JavaScript? Like, can I actually implement my design using these tools? Is my game doomed? Is it doomed? It has to be doomed. But those feelings would come to pass as more and more successful tests were completed. So that was nice. Alright, hold on. Okay, so when I wrote the story about this, it eventually got less spooky, so I don't know how to phase out this underlining, but we're just gonna go with it. Alright, I'm just gonna read everything that I wrote down to read in, the Vincent Price thriller voice. Eventually, after 2 weeks of refactoring, the game successfully loaded using the new asynchronous pipeline. The game worked again. Better than before. Yes, that is the scary part.
Not only that, a side effect of the pipeline was that the game got a loading screen. I'm Vincent Price, and I have been challenged by loading screens for longer than I'd care to admit.
Alright, Vincent Price, if you're out there, I'm so sorry for this impression. I only heard you in the music video to Thriller. Okay, so seriously, the loading screen had been escaping me for a while, and then now I have it because of this horrible, horrible experience. Even more terrifying was when I actually finished refactoring this whole thing, and then saw that, like, some of my object to interact handlers were querying the server every time they were clicked. And I've never been more scared in my life. Truly thought I was gonna die. No, but really, it did suck. But it turns out that all it took was just one conditional statement, and problem solved. So now we are here. If you're still sticking around, congratulations. Your patience is about to pay off. Because tonight I wish to present to you, the video game viewing public, the next step in horrendous anime technology. This is build number 0.01 something something something. And here it is. Okay, so a lot to take in, a lot to unwrap. You may be wondering where those lovely gradient blocks with their dimensions on them are. I got so sick of seeing those that I had to adjust the game graphics. Like, it was, I couldn't do it anymore. So, new things on graphics. Obviously, we have collectibles here, as in this case, collect Zoidbergs. And, oh, hey, what was that? Oh, what was that orange thing, really quick? Oh, oh, there it is. There it is. There's the loading screen. I'm prouder of that loading screen than I care to admit. Like, loading screens have been a challenge for me. So, yeah, new graphics for the game. I mean, this just sort of illustrates how the engine is supposed to work. Like, I'm supposed to put an image somewhere, and then, you know, it appears here, but you can still, you know, you can still interact. So, like, it's the same stuff, just different graphics, and you can make as many or as few as you want, and they load how and where you tell them to, so that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, the dialogue system going to async was an absolute nightmare, you know, drop a comment below if you want to get into, like, the serious nitty-gritty programming awfulness of getting this game to work. But otherwise, I'm going to try to keep it light and non-mind-numbing. So here's kind of what we're looking at. Is, you know, it's in a widescreen format now, 1920 by 1080. Because originally it was at like 2760 by and just like the amount of rendering that was required for that, like, you know, that canvas size was, I feel like it was causing a few performance issues. So, you know, trying to keep things very low file size. So yeah, bringing down the pixels just a little bit. And if you notice here, there's a image that is, it's not like a pixel approximated like these GIFs are. That's because there's a fun little CSS rendering option that lets you just do nearest neighbor as opposed to anti-aliasing or the computer guessing and taking up processor time. So that's going to dovetail nicely with the art style of the game, which is very pixely, but like not pixely lo-fi, but like hi-fi pixely. But still that limited palette, so it's a low file size. Ah yes, there's that guy. I love that guy. He's my friend.
Made by Western Electric.
He's a good man. I've seen him once, but I never saw him again. I never saw anything again after looking at that guy, actually. I find that funnier than I should. So, yeah, so if, in case you haven't noticed, like, a lot of these images are a little bit, vintage, you could say. Like, we have the friggin' FIAD flag up here. We got, I wish I knew the artist for this image, because, like, I downloaded it in, like, 2007, and it is just evergreen. Like, I've known that guy. Like, I've known that furry. And the fact that this dude is saying the Ghost in the Shell dialogue just, I don't know, it's sort of it's kind of the first instance of the engine working in, I don't know, like a storytelling way. Like, this guy's saying this. So yes, milestone. And yes, we have new test sounds because I am sick of hearing that belching noise all the time. Still keeping it in the database, but oh right, should probably let you hear it. Hold on. Let's see. 1 second, Mr. Aphex Twin. So there we go. Yeah, I mean, I had to let you hear this sound. That just goes without saying. So yeah, this is where the game is now. The next steps. Yeah, next steps. Let me compose myself. I want to get out of the programming phase of this project so bad. I want to be done with this engine. I have got to be done with this engine because, like, I'll put it like this. Programming can be fun, technically. It's a discipline that requires a really kind of rigid style of thinking. Meanwhile, art and writing and music, while they do require discipline, they also require way less flowcharts and technical documents. But the engine is, it's getting close to being done. It is in the second half of being done. And that just thrills me that soon I'm going to be able to break out of this friggin' spreadsheet way of thinking and get into the real, like the inside of this project. Like really just the joy of creation. And I can't wait. So that's it for this episode of the Horrendous Anime Vlog. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to like and comment and subscribe and all that good stuff. Go ahead and tell your family about me. It's okay. They deserve to know. And I will see you next time.